China is expressing deep concern over the escalating military operations by the United States and United Kingdom and Yemen targeting the Houthi rebels. This conflict in the Red Sea region is increasingly seen as a threat to China's economic and diplomatic stakes. The persistent attempts by the Houthi rebels to disrupt maritime traffic in critical Middle Eastern waterways are alarming for China, largely due to its dependence on the Suez Canal and the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. These routes are essential for transporting Chinese goods to Europe, and any interference poses a direct threat to China's economic health and its capability to efficiently conduct trade. The significance of these maritime paths for China's trade and economic expansion cannot be overstated. Disruptions could severely impact China's ability to maintain its trade networks and fulfill European market demands, essential for its global trade status and economic growth. Additionally, China's heavy reliance on oil and gas imports from Middle Eastern nations like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, and Qatar adds a layer of vulnerability. Yemen conflict's impact on these supplier nations poses serious risks to China's energy security. China's role in this situation is complex, while it seems to be concerned about the impact of the conflict on its interests. It is also possible that it has ulterior motives or agendas concerning Western nations. The Chinese Foreign Ministry, through spokesperson Mao Ning, has called for common restraint, emphasizing the need to prevent further escalation and maintain Red Sea safety and stability. This stance reflects China's broader strategy in the region and its delicate balancing act in international relations. Welcome back of another interesting chapter of our channel. Inventive Insights makes you discover the unfolding narrative of China's inventive ventures and expanding impact across various global regions. If you're exploring our channel for the first time and have an interest in the dynamic progression of China's evolution, and increasing cloud art content will surely captivate you. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get to it. Interestingly, China chose not to join Operation Prosperity Guardian, a US-led coalition policing the Red Sea. This decision may indicate China's reluctance to directly engage in conflicts where US interests are heavily involved. The intensifying US actions against the Houthi rebels are not only a challenge to China's diplomatic interests, but also to its growing influence in the Middle East. In a notable diplomatic move, China facilitated a normalization of relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran, showcasing its increasing clout in the region. This agreement included Iran's commitment to restrain the Houthi militia in Yemen, a crucial step towards regional stability. However, recent developments suggest a complex scenario. Reports indicate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is aiding the Houthi forces in Yemen. This complicates the U.S. request for China to mediate with Iran and its associated groups, especially after a recent terrorist attack by Hamas in Israel. China's significant regional ties put it in a unique position to influence stability and peace efforts. The U.S. is keen on China joining the international efforts against Houthi attacks, aligning with Operation Prosperity Guardian. The U.S. has also pushed a UN Security Council resolution condemning the Houthi actions, which both China and Russia abstained from voting on. This abstention highlights the varied perspectives within the international community on this issue. China's Deputy Permanent Representative to the UN, Gang Shuang, has linked the situation to broader regional dynamics, cautioning against the U.S.-led military response. China views the conflict as a consequence of U.S. involvement in the Middle East and criticizes U.S. policies as contributing to regional instability. However, China must balance its criticism with the need to maintain its growing influence and investments in the Middle East. The risk of regional instability and disruptions in key trade routes and energy supplies directly challenge China's interests. China's stance on the Houthi attacks is influenced by the group's targeting of Israeli ships and vessels. However, these attacks have also affected non-Israeli ships, complicating China's position. China's trade seems minimally impacted by the Houthi actions in the Red Sea, as the rebels have avoided targeting oil tankers, crucial for China's energy imports. Nevertheless, the Houthi attacks have led to increased transportation costs and insurance premiums, though these remain lower than during the COVID-19 pandemic disruptions. The slowdown in China's export sector, primarily due to weak global demand, is expected to continue, with a slight recovery anticipated around the Lunar New Year. China's delicate position in the Middle East, particularly with Saudi Arabia and Iran, again requires careful navigation of the Yemen conflict. Saudi Arabia seeks stability in Yemen, aligning with China's peace process support, Well, Iran's perspective as a backer of the Houthi rebels differs, the Houthi rebels, by targeting Israeli ships aimed to gain broader support in the Arab world where the Palestinian cause resonates deeply. These actions are strategic, extending beyond immediate gains to seek international recognition and strengthen their position in Iran's regional strategy while China faces complex challenges in mediating Middle Eastern tensions. Its significant regional ties and growing influence place it in a unique position to contribute to stability and peace efforts. China's influence and strategic interests in the Middle East, particularly in the context of the Yemeni conflict, require a nuanced and balanced approach to the Houthi rebels' strategy of enhancing their position in negotiations and seeking international recognition complicates the regional dynamics. China, with a significant diplomatic clout and economic stakes in the region, is in a position to exert influence, yet must tread carefully to maintain its relationships with key regional players like Saudi Arabia and Iran. Saudi Arabia's priorities in Yemen, focusing on stability and a resolution to the conflict, align with China's interests in promoting peace and maintaining its economic partnerships. On the other hand, offering support for the Houthi rebels presents a challenge for China in balancing its diplomatic engagement. Beijing's approach to the crisis will reflect its broader strategy, and the Middle East, where it seeks to expand its economic and strategic influence without becoming entangled in the region's complex political dynamics. China's handling of the Houthi attacks and the broader Yemeni conflict is also indicative of its global strategy. By positioning itself as a mediator and a proponent of stability, China aims to solidify its role as a key player in international affairs, particularly in contrast to the policies and actions of the United States. This approach is consistent with China's long-term goal of shaping a multipolar world where its influence is significant. Moreover, the dynamics of the Yemeni conflict and the Houthi attacks offer China an opportunity to articulate its stance on U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. By framing, U.S. actions as contributing to regional instability, China can justify its calls for a different approach to handling such conflicts. This stance resonates with certain international audiences and aligns with China's broader criticism of U.S. foreign policy. Saying, however, the potential escalation of the conflict and the risk it poses to regional stability and key trade routes are of significant concern to China. Any major disruption could have far-reaching consequences for China's economic interests, particularly its energy security and trade routes. Therefore, while China may leverage the situation to criticize U.S. policies, it also faces the challenge of ensuring that its own interests are not adversely affected. China's response to the Yemeni conflict and its handling of the Houthi attacks are part of a larger strategy to enhance its global standing, maintain its economic interests, and navigate the complex geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. As the situation evolves, China's actions will continue to be closely watched by the international community, reflecting the country's growing importance in global affairs. Thank you for watching. And I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. If you want to watch more videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share the video to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence.